Hi guys, welcome to Nerd Bites, and this is going to be my spoiler review for X-Men Apocalypse. Yes, of course there will be spoilers, but I will put it to the back end of my review. I'm going to give my first thoughts at the start of it, so if you don't want anything spoiled, make sure you go and check out the film first. X-Men Apocalypse. Now, I quite enjoyed this film. I've been looking around at the other reviews and it's been a very mixed bag, a lot of ups, a lot of downs and everything. It's quite even on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I quite enjoyed it. I don't think it was as good as Days of Future Past. I think that one just had a lot more emotion invested in it and a lot more stakes invested in it. And this one was a little bit more of just a spectacle and kind of loads of powers and all this kind of stuff. And it was, it was very simple and stripped back as a film. But it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst film ever, but it wasn't like the best film I've ever seen either. Returning characters though, absolutely incredible. They all know their role so well by now. Fassbender, I think, in this film shined very, very well as Magneto. I was a lot more invested in his character than I was anybody else in this film. Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse, great actor, does a really cool role with it. I did enjoy Apocalypse. I don't think I enjoyed the character as much as I thought I could, but it was still a good villain. He was still menacing, he was still like to be feared and everything. His powers were just so off the scale, the amount of stuff he could do, and it was pretty cool. As far as the plot goes, it is pretty simple. It is basically just bad guy rises, good guys have to take him on and take him out, and he's a bad guy for bad guy's sake kind of thing. So it's very simple plot. There wasn't a lot to it. The trailers gave you the rough idea, and that was pretty much what it was. There isn't, as far as story's concerned, there isn't that much to spoil. As far as the Four Horsemen are concerned, I think they were pretty cool. I think they all had their time to shine, and each and every person getting their powers amplified from Apocalypse was a cool way of doing things. It was just, I quite enjoyed each and every character of those, and it was good again to see them going against other X-Men and this kind of stuff and mixing it up, and it was cool, it was fun. The only thing I would say is that the first hour was a bit of a build-up. It took a long time to get going, and it didn't feel like it was a very three-structure film, like it was beginning, middle, end, first, second and third act. It felt like it was just one act at the start, building and building and building, then bang, straight into your second act, and that was it, your big spectacle, blah, 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 and then it was the end. Felt like a very two-part film. Now going into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know about anything going on in the film, make sure you go to the end of my review to find out what my final verdict is. As far as story is concerned, like I've said before already, there isn't that much to spoil. Simple, go against Apocalypse, beat him, destroy him, end of story. But so I'm just really going to tell you what some of my favourite bits were in these films. The intro to Apocalypse, which is the first scene before the credits, like the intro credits came up, was cool. It was ancient Egypt, and it was him transferring his body, his old body, into a brand new body, which is obviously Oscar Isaac, and that was cool. And then obviously he was betrayed by other people, and he gets buried, and that's it. And obviously he wakes up in the present day after the credits have rolled, and it was cool. It was simple. It kind of gave us the rough backstory that us comic book people already knew, but for the regular viewers, it was just giving them a quick insight into how this was happening, how he survived all this time. The introduction to Archangel, as a massive metal fan, having Metallica's Four Horsemen being blared through the speakers as he's sitting there drinking, and then Apocalypse pushes down and makes his metal wings come out of his back and everything, all the while with Four Horsemen just lapping over the top of it, just a really metal thrash moment, and it was so cool to see that. I thought the introduction to that and making him into Archangel was a really cool transformation. I really enjoyed the death scene of Magneto's family, because he's now got a family, he's just doing the normal job in the steelworks and everything. Someone finds out about him using his powers and everything, then he comes to try and arrest him and stop him. You find out later on his daughter's got powers, and birds start attacking all these men, and then one of them lets go of an arrow by accident and stabs them both straight through, the missus and the daughter. And it was a really emotional moment, and Fassbender acted it really well. He then used the girl's little chain that he gave of his family to kill the guys. But the only problem was I knew it was already coming, because it was in the trailers where he says, "Whatever you thought of me, I buried it with my family." So you knew full well that that was going to happen. As far as all the new mutants, or the new actors in these characters we know, they had their time to shine. Cyclops was a really quite a pivotal part of him discovering his powers for the first time. Havoc helping him in getting into the Xavier Mansion and stuff and building him up. He had some really cool moments as well. Nightcrawler had an awesome moment as well, where he teleported everybody from the plane that was about to crash out and ended up killing Archangel in the process, and that was just, he kind of went out like a wimp really, but that was a cool moment for Nightcrawler, although it knocked him out for the final fight. But Jean Grey, I think, was one of the main focal points of this younger cast, because her connection with Xavier and everything, and the powers that she's developing, everything's going on, and she was a real pivotal part in that final fight going against Apocalypse. And you get that kind of moment with the Dark Phoenix rising. He tells her just to go mental with her powers so she can stop Apocalypse, and that to me gives things for the future. Potentially we will see a Dark Phoenix saga. done right this time, I think. One of the best scenes of this film is clearly the Quicksilver scene. We all knew that there was a new one coming, and it was amazing. The Xavier Mansion is about to blow up, which ends up killing Havoc in the process, which again has a new layer for Cyclops, which was really good. I had a feeling that was going to happen anyway. But as it's exploding in slow motion, he's running in and throwing people out the windows and saving them, all this kind of stuff. Saving the dog with the pizza, that was pretty cool as well. While all having the Sweet Dreams playing over in his head, in the headphones and everything. Epic scene. I definitely think it tops the one from Days of Future Past. It was so well done. The special effects in that was second to none. Absolutely incredible. The Weapon X facility scene, this is after they've been captured by Stryker and his TAC team and everything and taken back to the Weapon X facility. I enjoyed the scene. I thought it was cool. The only thing I would say is I felt like it was a little bit tapped on, purely because it seems like it didn't need to add anything to the rest of the film and the point of Apocalypse. It was purely there just to see Wolverine escape from the Weapon X facility, which I enjoyed. I like it because everyone loves Wolverine, everyone loves Hugh Jackman, he does such a good role, and it was really cool seeing him in that original Weapon X outfit with the headset and the harness and all this kind of stuff, the drills in his stomach and all that. But I just felt like that scene was specifically for that. With the final battle, it was just literally all the X-Men going against the Four Horsemen, and bit by bit they're being pulled apart. And because obviously I said Archangel fucking dies, then Psylocke buggers off, Mystique almost gets choked and killed, as we've seen in the trailers. And then you've kind of got Storm that changed their mind at the last moment to help the X-Men, and at the very last moment you get Magneto doing the exact same thing. Just as Apocalypse finds the guys in the building, he's about to get them, and then suddenly two metal rods come down in the shape of an X, which I thought was a cool little way of doing it. And then Apocalypse just going, "You betrayed me." He goes, "No, I betrayed them." And then he starts to help those guys, and they eventually, with Phoenix, obviously Jean Grey kind of using her Phoenix powers, all of them getting involved, they eventually just destroy Apocalypse and just obliterate him. And it was a cool kind of finale of all these powers being used. After everything's all sorted and done and out of the way, the final scene I quite liked as well. It was really quite cool. It was all of them in the danger room. Xavier and Lencher are just having their little final moment and everything, and then they become friends again. And then obviously he goes off, he's sitting there in a chair all suited and booted and looking really cool like Professor X. Then you've got all the X-Men being taught by Mystique, or monologued by Mystique, all in their X-Men gear, brand new X-Men gear, and it all looks so cool. To be honest, it looks just like the original comic book with that kind of X-Men Evolution TV series feel to it. And then soon then the danger room locks up and it opens everything up and all these Sentinels come out, and then bang, that's the end of the film. I thought that was such a cool way to end it and push us into the next film, whatever it may be. The end credit scene. Now, I wasn't too sure what this was when it was happening. You go back to the X-Men facility, people are hoovering up bullets and clearing up every dead bodies and blood and all this kind of stuff. These guys with suits go into where the Wolverine was kept, and then they take a vial of his blood marked Weapon X and put it in a suitcase with other vials of different colours, and locks down, it says Essex Corp across the briefcase, sorry. And Essex Corp is for Mr. Sinister, because he was called something Essex, I can't bloody remember his name now, it's completely escaped me. But Mr. Sinister, so that's going to push forward. I think that's going to be the next film of what's going to happen, which again I think is cool because he's a big character. He was kind of involved with Apocalypse quite a lot. I would have liked to see no have interaction, but never mind. But I think he's probably the next big character you should probably go for if you're continuing with this, which I hope they do, because they've now got a bigger cast, a really cool cast with some cool suits, and I think we need to see that now. Unless, of course, the Mr. Sinister thing is just going to push towards the final Wolverine film. I don't know, because I don't know how they're going to work that film yet. Overall, guys, I enjoyed X-Men Apocalypse. I didn't enjoy it as much as Days of Future Past, but it was still a fun time. It was a cool spectacle. Yes, there were some problems. Yes, there was a little bit of issues here and there, nitpicky stuff, and a few bits that are tapped on here and there, and the plot was a little bit thin compared to Days of Future Past. But overall, it was a good time at cinema. I quite enjoyed it, so I think it's fair to give it 3 stars. So that's what I thought of X-Men Apocalypse. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments or send me an email. You can also find me in the various social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and moviepilot.com. Just type in Nerdbites anywhere and I'm sure you'll find me. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share my videos. And of course, keep it nerdy.